Hello, everybody. My name's Jared. I'm the director of Queen's Academy in Valencia, and I want to make a series of videos talking about the writing part of the B2 exam. And this is the first part, the essay. So the essay is probably the most important writing. Why? Because it's an obligation and you have to do it. So how to do it well? Let's have a look. So what is an essay? Okay, an essay is an obligation in the B2 Cambridge exam. You have to do it, so it's important to be great at it. Don't just settle for being good, be great. Here are some crucial facts about essays you need to know. So, important information coming. First one, 140 to 190 words. Now I've put here, the sweet spot for me is about 180. I think if you write less, it could be considered like you haven't written enough or your English is not good enough. So by doing about 180 words, it's showing the examiner that you're confident and you have good ideas. Get into the habit of counting your words a few times so you know more or less how 180 words look. Whether you're writing it or typing it, the computer exam option is good because it shows you the amount of words that you're writing. So, computer exam is a good option. 2, formal in style. So remember, an essay is not informal. You're not writing to a friend. It's a piece of writing that is formal in style. So as we go through the presentation, you'll see more about what that means and what language you should be using. Third, the question must be answered. This is very important. So when we look at a question in a minute, you have to look very carefully and make sure you answer all of the options, all of the ideas it gives you. So sometimes students give me an essay and they missed part of the question, and that's not good. So organization and preparation will help with this. Fourth point, 5 clear paragraphs. Bang, 5. Some students, or some teachers, will say, oh, you can do 4 if you want because you can put together the conclusion and the last idea, blah, blah, blah. Maybe. Sometimes in books you see 4 paragraphs, and it's okay. But 5 is the best, and we'll talk about why in this presentation. Okay. The 5th point, good language variety for B2 level. So what I train my students to do is include different grammar points, include a variety. Don't be lazy with your writing. So all those good things you learn in a B2 course, you want to try and vomit them on the page. I couldn't think of a better way to say it, but you want to show the examiner, I know all these expressions because I've studied B2 and I'm a good level. Fantastic. Okay. Example question. Look at this question. What is important? So let's read it together. In your English class, you have been talking about hobbies and free time. Now your English teacher has asked you to write an essay. Write your essay using all the notes and giving reasons for your points of view. Write your essay in 140, 190 words in an appropriate style. Formal is the appropriate style. So, young people today spend too much of their free time playing video games. Do you agree? Notes. Write about 1. Things you can learn from video games. 2. Doing exercise. And 3. Your own idea. So the third point is always your own idea. So you always have to think of something related to the question from your brain. Be creative. Think of something interesting. So let's break this down. Do you agree? Start thinking if you agree or not and why. That's the whole point of this writing, is you're going to explore some topics and in your conclusion you're going to say if you agree or disagree or what your points say. So start thinking about this. Things you can learn from video games. Like what? Start to think. What can you learn from video games? Can you learn any specific skills? Maybe you can't learn anything, it's just shooting and it's not good. What's your opinion? Say something. Think about it. Doing exercise. Why should they do it? Why should young people do exercise rather than video games. Are video games stopping you doing exercise? Can you do exercise with video games? Is that a possibility? I don't know. Start thinking about these things and your own idea. What could you say? So if the question is talking about young people spending their free time playing games, what else could they spend their free time doing? What could it be? Reading, playing board games, going out with their friends, studying and doing homework maybe is the best option. What's your opinion? Think about it. So we've broken down the question. Look at my points here. You must answer all 3 points clearly. So you see that 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 here. That's so important. You have to answer them all. Don't forget one of these points. And every year, at least 3 or 4 of my students, the first essay, I do this lesson with them, and the first essay they give me, it has 4 paragraphs. And I go, uh-oh. And then I see they've missed the first point or the second one or their own idea, something. Don't do this. Think about pros and cons of each point to be interesting. Pros and cons, positives, negatives. So you don't want to only necessarily be one argument. Think about arguments against what your opinion is. Challenge yourself through the writing. Plan what unique things you can say. So planning, we'll talk about. It's so important. Don't just write. Think for a second. Look at the question. Break it down and start to write some interesting points you have or something curious that you could say. Don't be the same as everyone else. Remember, if you do this exam with 300 people, they're all going to have an essay. And depending if you do computer or paper, most of the people get the same essay. So be different. Try to be different. Your own idea, I've put here in red some of the examples. Reading books, studying, getting fresh air, going out with friends to make real memories. So many things. I struggle a lot with creativity for my students. So try to be creative. Think of good ideas. Okay, paragraphs. Students sometimes write only 4 paragraphs or 3. Don't do this. You should write 5 paragraphs for an essay. Look, paragraph 1 is an introduction to the topic, okay? Introduce the topic. I'll show you how to do that. Paragraph 2 is idea 1 from the question, then idea 2 from the question, your own idea. So those are the bullet points or the numbers from the question. And then a conclusion. What does it all say? What's your final thought? That is the structure. Don't do anything differently. This is the structure. Good. Okay. Look at this example essay for the question. What do you think is good about it? So pause the video now. I'll do a funny face so you can pause on my face. Pause the video and look at this essay and try to write down, let's say 6 expressions or phrases that you think is very, very good and that you could also use in your essay, okay? Do that now. Welcome back. Okay, so you've done it, and here are the good things. So in this day and age, I love this expression. I love it for 2 reasons. One, it means nowadays. And I teach English in Spain. So in Spain, for some reason, everybody loves the expression nowadays, nowadays, nowadays. Be different in this day and age. It means the same thing. It's 5 words, so you're hitting your word count. And it's something to make the examiner go, ooh, that's a high-level expression. The first thing I read, wow, they have studied and practiced this. So if you focus first on the beginnings of each paragraph here. So you've got, in this day and age, firstly, secondly, thirdly. Fantastic way to remember these expressions. It's so simple. And they open each paragraph perfectly. In conclusion, really good. These are not the only things you can say, but as an example, very nice. And then you can notice all the things I've underlined. There are different things. Dependent preposition, obsessed with. this essay will examine. You're going to talk about, oh, what's going to happen in this essay? What am I about to read? I've also highlighted some adverbs. I love adverbs. Impact their lives negatively. Hugely popular down here. Hugely popular. Is there another adverb? Probably. Potentially damaging. Fantastic. So I sometimes read my students' essays, and if there are no adverbs, use some adverbs. It's a really good way to improve your adjectives. Hugely popular, potentially damaging. There are so many. Google them, learn a few. And all these other linking expressions. This is not a grammar lesson, but here you can see these expressions, check what they mean. And on the left here, look at my ticks. So, nice linking expressions, yes. 5 clear paragraphs, yes. Good word count, 180 to 185. Expanded on ideas, no errors, lots of B2 expressions and C1. So this is a 10 out of 10 perfect essay. Mwah. Can you do this? Maybe, maybe not. But you can try to be close. That is what the best possible outcome could be. Okay. Same thing as before. There's a little clue in my text there for one thing that's wrong. Pause the video. This is a bad essay. And I want you to pause the video and try to identify all of the grammatical problems, whether it's spelling, grammar, tenses, any error that you see. This is an example here. Life's, very typical Spanish error. What's the correct answer for this? Lives. Lives. In plural, we use V. Okay, pause the video and check. Welcome back. Boom. Look at all this. So as you can see, this is not a great essay for many reasons. Firstly, 4 paragraphs, 5. We want 5 paragraphs, okay? You can notice all the things I've improved in the text. I'm not going to go through it in great detail. You can read it and see for yourself. Yes, so on the left here, my red points. Too short, under 140 words. This is not good. 4th paragraph, their own idea is missing. Multiple low-level errors. Yeah, lots of like low-level slips. Something I would see at maybe A2 or B1 level. This is not good for B2. Multiple low errors, yes. Incorrect linking expressions. So at first part, sometimes my students say this, at first part. This doesn't exist in English. You could say firstly, to start with, or something with good English. Badly communicated ideas. So it's not clear what they're trying to say. This is a bad essay. Don't write like this. If you read this essay and you thought, this is pretty good, this sounds like my writing, then you need to improve your English, okay? So that's an example of a bad writing. Good. Planning is vital. Spend a few minutes really thinking about the question. Plan your opinions and things you want to communicate. Make notes of important language items you want to include. I always tell my students to do this. So, for example, conditionals, contrast clauses, linking expressions, adverbs, high-level vocabulary. When you get into your exam and you have the essay in front of you, start writing 1, 2, 3 little sentences using a conditional structure, using a contrast clause to remember to put it in your writing. If you just start writing, there's a possibility you forget to include something really important and then you have to delete it, blah, blah, blah. It really depends if you're doing paper or computer, but try to do this. Think about what language they want to see. They want to see all of this language, so plan and you will be okay. Okay, I don't necessarily need to go through this with you. You can see it. These are useful expressions for epic essays. So I always give this to my students, the first essay class, and I've got some nice expressions for introduction language, paragraph linkers, so that means expressions at the beginning of maybe the 2nd paragraph, the 3rd paragraph, making arguments for or against something. This language is really good. This is called kind of like distancing, passive distancing. That means when you give a general opinion, that people think, but it's not your opinion. This is very good. So look here, you can say, it is common knowledge that education is the future. Or it is generally believed that drinking alcohol in excess is bad for your health. These are things that, people think in general. Really nice expressions here. General linking expressions, you've got contrast clauses, result clauses, reason clauses, all different things to connect ideas, to connect sentences. At B2 level, you learn these things. Try to sprinkle, to put a few of these in your writing. And conclusion language, to sum up, to summarize, in short, to conclude. Choose your favorite and say it in your final paragraph. So read these expressions, practice them, memorize them, and you will have a very good writing. Nice. My favorite expressions for essays, I've got the little chef's kiss there. This is a personal preference. I'm not saying I am a genius of English, but I've taught B2 and C1 Cambridge exams for many years with good results. So these are just my favorite expressions. In this day and age, we talked about, fantastic. It goes without saying that education is the future. This is one of those distancing expressions. It goes without saying that is just like saying obviously. Something obvious, but look, 5 words, nice expression, not typical, really good. On the one hand, on the other hand, very nice linking from the second paragraph to the third paragraph to say one thing but then another thing. We must study in order to pass our exams, better than saying to. We need to do this to do this. No, say in order to. It's a much more impressive expression. However, even though for contrasting, to sum up for the conclusion, some people might say phrasal verbs in a formal writing isn't great. I think to sum up is a perfect opportunity to use one in a good way. If you have a doubt, just say to conclude or in short. In short is a very formal expression, but you can choose. And any conditional structure. If I read an essay from my students and there's no conditional, I think in my head, I'm going to bring them down a bit. So show me a conditional, if it's a first, a zero, a second, whatever conditional you think is good to use it. They're really, really good and show high fluency. Fantastic. Final tips. So, plan your essay. Don't forget your own idea. Okay? So really look at the question. 5 paragraphs. We know this. Use all the time. So you have 40 minutes for each writing. Use 5 minutes to plan. 35 minutes to write is a long time. Like 5 minutes planning. It's really important. Check your word count. 180 is great. Again, word count takes practice. If you do the computer exams, the word count shows on the screen. So you don't have to worry so much about this. Believe in yourself. Yes, writing is difficult. If you improve your grammar in general, you will improve your writing too. This is true. Grammar, for me, is the key to everything. So if you think your grammar is bad, don't ignore it. Try to improve it. Use of English practice as much as possible. There are many things online, and all of that knowledge will come out in your speaking and your writing eventually. Practice. Practice makes perfect, we say in English. Very good. I think I've got through this pretty quick. Okay, marking your writing. So Cambridge has specific criteria for marking writing. All you need to remember is you need 60% to pass. Here is a simple way to look at your writing marks. So there are different points and criteria and things. You don't need to think about this. That's for the examiner. For you, it's this. Content. Is everything relevant to the question, and did you answer everything? So if the essay is about food, and you're talking about aliens, this is not relevant. Okay? Keep everything relevant. Communication. Does the reader understand you? Did you communicate clearly? Now, this can be a combination of things. Grammar affects this, but mainly it's being coherent. Are you talking sense? Language. Did you use a range of structures? Did you make limited errors? Did you use formal language for essays? All of that stuff we talked about. Use correct structures. Use formal expressions. Use a range of different grammatical forms that you learn in your B2 course. And you will get a good mark. Organization. 5 paragraphs, clear ideas, neat and organized writing. I think computer exams eliminate the possibility that your handwriting is not very good and it might affect your grade. So again, doing a computer exam, I think, is a better option now, especially in a technological age that paper exams are quite nice for making notes, but computer exams have a lot of benefits. I really recommend it. Good. Example question to try. So try this example essay question, do it naturally, and then use ChatGPT, sorry to any anti-AI people, to check the quality and give you a Cambridge score. So use ChatGPT in the correct way. Write an essay, put it on ChatGPT and say, can you pretend you're a Cambridge examiner and give me a score? And then you're going to get more or less, hopefully, the correct answer. I would say send them to me here and I will check all your essays, but I don't have a lot of time to check hundreds and hundreds of essays. But if you come to my school in Valencia and you're in my class, then I will mark your essays and it will be a pleasure. Good. So good luck in your B2 exams, everyone. Use this video to remember essay structure and language. And if you live in Valencia, Spain, come to Queen's Academy for an English course. Thank you so much, and watch this video as many times as you need. I hope it was useful. Thank you very much, and good luck in your exams.